How's it going, guys? And welcome to RC Cincy Extras. So today I wanted to do a video on mobile gaming and how far it has come. So I've had a desktop, sorry about that. I've had a desktop for the longest time. I've had one or two laptops, but predominantly I gamed on desktop. I'd have to be in my back room tethered to a big desk, huge machine. But it had really good power and performance, right? But I always wanted to have that capability, be able to move to the living room, game with my wife because she games on Xbox. So for the first time, I pulled the trigger on a laptop, gaming one, specifically to replace my desktop. Of course, I got the Omen. You can tell by all the white accessories, it was the white Omen. It was the 16-inch, really amazing specs. Check out that video, kind of like an overview, and I talked about upgrading the RAM and stuff like that. An amazing machine. It was really crazy thing, but the charger port quit working. I think it had to do with static electricity or something weird like that. It can happen, very uncommon, but it can. I looked everywhere, didn't find no other issues with the charger port. It was not dropped. The charger was good because I actually replaced it. It just was something stupid, or a fuse or a connection or something just went bad. Of course, it had a warranty. Of course, I talked to the manager. I was like, look, man, I don't know if it's going to happen again, if there's some issue with this or whatever it may be. I don't want to take the chance. It is it was a good price, $1,100. It was $9.99. I think with taxes it was like $1,100. I did buy a 2-year a 2-year regular warranty, but it only had one replacement. So I was really worried because I would have to use my one replacement, then I wouldn't be able to replace it. I have to repair it. And if they can't repair it, who knows what's going to happen. So I was kind of bummed out. They were really cool. It was 10 minutes before they closed on a Sunday, and they credited me a gift card to $1,100. Of course, I returned the DDR4 RAM and the 1 terabyte SSD, so I could have some extra cash to use towards a new laptop. And I was looking around, and I came across this beast, which we'll go over here in a second. So I put a bunch of stuff on my Amazon Christmas lists. I ended up, this was one of them, a really nice gaming backpack. Water resistant, I would definitely say. Tons of pockets and really nice cushiony stuff for the laptop to protect it. Has a spot for a power brick, so you can charge your phone outside. So in the bag, I had, of course, my charger wire for my phone, a 10,000 milliamp power brick, the white gaming mouse pad rolled up. If I go to someone's, table or kitchen or a LAN party, whatever, I want to have a mouse pad for my mouse. This rolls right up, fits in there. Everything in here fits in there perfectly. The mouse pad, I think that's around a $20, $30 range off Amazon. I don't know, 10 to 20 bucks depending on the size and what design you want. Different pricing, right? And all these prices are subject to change, so I'm just giving you a range. Amazon. I purchased this off of Amazon for myself. This is the Death Otter, of course. 2.4 gigahertz. It's got the dongle and it's got Bluetooth, but of course I'm using my Bluetooth for my new Xbox Series 1 or whatever, or Series X, whatever controller. This was purchased for me as a birthday present. This is the Corsair, really nice headset, wired, but I like it. It's clean, it looks good. Good quality sound as well. This is the back hatch thing because I am, of course, using rechargeable packs. I don't like going through a bunch of batteries. Yes, the covers are black. That doesn't bother me none. These are 1100 milliamps, 2.4 volts, I'd want to say. Rechargeable. You can keep them, just plug them right up and keep playing, of course. Or you can plug into the Type-C up there and connect it directly to a computer with a Type-C connection, which I do have in this case right here. I'll talk about that here in a second. Of course, Apple connection as well. Two of these packs. Here is the wire to charge these packs. If you don't want to mess with the controller, just charge it directly to the pack. You can do it that way. 128 gigabyte for this, which is the Retro Pocket 2, by the way, with Type-C wire there, headset, earbuds, I'm sorry, mini display port to HDMI, so I can hook up to like TVs and other devices. That's really, really cool, I think. Retro Pocket 2 is an amazing machine, has like, I don't know, 1,200 games, I want to say, maybe more. I got a 128 and it's like barely even being used. There's another 128. Of course, I have a memory card reader, Type-C Thunderbolt, so it's fast, but it's a memory card reader for, this is an Apple one, but it will work for Windows. This will allow me to do micro and full-size memory cards for cameras, whatever, for my computer and stuff like that, so it's really nice to have that. This was originally intended for my Apple tablet and Apple devices, of course. Apple tablet, that's the only one that has C. I don't know why I still use Lightning for Apple, but that's a gripe. Apple, obviously, Apple to USB, so I can hook up other kind of devices to it that I like. Experimenting there. The cooling pad is a $20 cooling pad from around 20 bucks. Like I said, these prices are subject to change. It's around 20. I forget what this mouse is, like 30, 40. These controllers are like 50, I think. 59, something like that. Depends, like I said, prices, sales. This cooling pad's around 20. This was on my Amazon list. This was on my Amazon, well, they got this. This was on my list. The mouse pad and this. And the battery packs for my sister-in-law as well. So that's really cool. They did a great job of purchasing exactly what I want. Like I said, the theme was white because I had a white laptop. It doesn't matter. Anything. These are still amazing products. This is a twin fan 120 millimeter cooling pad. I'll quickly just unplug the power source to the cooling pad, and we'll just gently move the laptop over. You want to be careful with your laptop. They're not cheap. So I like this design. This has crazy amount of power supplement to fans. It has 6 connectors there, and it can take 2 in, so that's 5 volts, 5 volts. You know, they can have like 3 fans, so 6 fan configuration. You can have 1 big one, you can have 2 120s. I think the 2 120s and 1 big one are like the closest together in performance, but I wanted to try the 2. My buddy, I think, had a 1 big fan, 200 mil or something, but I want to try the 2 120s, kind of zone cooling, just see how it performs. I may hook up another USB for more power, see if it could give it more pep. Obviously, it has a dial. It does have built-in blue lights. It does have a dial, so you click it off. And I just run it max because it's really, really quiet. So I just run it on max, honestly. There's a little tab here that catches it, keeps it from sliding off. Of course, has a little foam cushion there just to keep it from scratching and stuff like that. So not a bad cooler. I have to do performance data. I'm not going to go off what the company says. It will make a difference, just the simple fact that it's lifting it up off the table. Even if you just get just the stand version where this is all hollowed down, it's just like a frame or whatever, and holds up your laptop. Those make a difference, period. That's 100% true. Those make a huge difference without these fans. If you just give it the lift, especially if it's on your lap, off a blanket, gets off the blanket, off your lap, keeps the heat off your lap, by the way. So it makes perfect sense. At least minimally get that. Don't leave a file on a table like that. Or put something on it, even like this, the corner. Well, this gets hot. You don't want to use that. But something square, that square or whatever, to kind of prop it up, or this. As long as it's not blocking the vents underneath, it will make a difference. But I would just do a stand, obviously, because they're safer and better. They're designed for a laptop. Excuse me. So keep that in mind. So these, I'll have the information on it, but it seems to be running cooler, seems to be boosting higher, so I'll take it. Even if it just runs cooler, keeps the components cooler, over time, that'll help with the longevity of the components and increase performance and everything else. So kind of important, to be honest with you. So I just wanted to put that back on the laptop thing. The laptop itself, an incredible machine. Let's just go over that. That is the main subject. For mobile gaming, it's insane. This is basically, I would say it's still a portable laptop. The battery isn't the best, but you can still easily carry this. This is only 5.8 pounds compared to my case alone was like 58 pounds with nothing in it. So keep that in mind. I had the View 71, 3900X, 32 gigs of DDR4, 3070, for 2K, 144 hertz monitor, really nice monitor, keyboard, mouse, mic, all that fun stuff. I had streaming set up there for a while as well. And this feels like I'm gaming on that desktop, if not maybe a little better. And that's insane for me to say because of the simple fact of the performance you get at the new, modern, powerful laptops. Older ones was just not cutting it. And, you know, obviously if you build a monster with water cooling loops and overclock it, I get it. But we're talking mid to high end. That's what I would say this is. This is not in a crazy price bracket, like a bracket that I've seen, you know, $3,000-$4,000 machines. Those are ludicrous. And same thing with the tower costing $3,000 or $4,000. I think on my entire setup, just to give you reference, and this is better, that entire setup with monitor, keyboard, mouse, everything I had in it was just shy of $3,000. So keep that in mind. And this was $1,399, and it outperforms that. Yes, if you built a new machine, but you're still going to have to buy the monitor, the keyboard, and mouse. We're talking a complete setup. This is a complete setup. Yeah, if you factor everything in, it'd still be cheaper. But most of these were gifts, plus you want all these things in your bag. You want to be able to be game quietly, you know, to your, you know, not be super loud. You want to have controller if you like to game that way, or if your game requires a mouse, or if you want smaller portable gaming, or load photos, or have a power bank, or whatever it may be, you know, cooling, or a mat for your mouse. Like, those are nice things I think you should have in your backpack, and it all fits comfortably. So this is what I would call a nice mobile gaming setup. Yeah, if you had a monitor at home and a desk, yeah, that'd be even better. If you did that, have this like on a stand to the side and had like a big monitor, cool. It will push it, right? So this is the Dell G15. It is the 5521 special edition. So there's the 5520. This is the 5521 special edition. This is towards the end of the cycle of the 1200s. Alder Lake chips, the 13th gen, whatever they're going to call them, that's going to get ready to be out in, I would say, middle of February, probably be out in computers by March, I would imagine, maybe later, who knows. And of course, the 4000 series RTXs, so, you know, this is on the back end, but it's still an amazing, powerful, it's still the latest and greatest as of right now. So it's the Dell G15, again, 5521 special edition. This is the obsidian black with the orange. It has a orange backlit keyboard. It has 3 different levels. Of course, an orange little logo, orange logo. Has a orange LED light bar there. So the white is making it look more yellowish, but trust me, it's orange, nice diffused light. Let's plug in the cooling pad just so you hear how loud the cooling pad is, and I will have it at full steam. That is full steam on the cooling pad. That is, I mean, if you just barely turn on the speakers, it will drown that out. That is full steam on the cooling pad. So that is crazy to me. So that is absolutely bonkers to me. So yeah, that's the cooling pad. As far as the specs go, we'll talk about the shell, obsidian black, orange logos, like I was saying. Really, really hard plastic. I can tell you that right now. This thing is beefy, and I will talk about the incident. I've dropped this thing, not a single mark on it. We will talk about the incident because the connector, the actual charger part of the connector where that blue light is, split in half. That's how hard I dropped it. And the machine didn't have a mark on it. I bought the 3-year accidental labor parts, everything warranty, 3 years. Went to Micro Center. They swapped it out for another one. They're going to RMA the old one, or like, you know, the warranty is going to, whatever they do to replace it. Plugged it up. They saw that it's charging. It's perfectly fine. I went home. No issues. So I love Dell warranties. They're amazing. They'll even come out to your house and fix your stuff. It's crazy. I'll give them credit for that when it's due. So, of course, that's 240 watt brick. The shell is extremely tough. The ports are as follows. We have two 3.2 gen type A USB, a intake. On this other side, we have killer LAN, by the way. I think that's 2.5. Combo jack, a charging indication light. It has 100% battery, so that's not going to be lit up. Plus, it'll do errors, like if it can't charge or whatever, it can do error codes. You just have to look up on Dell what the light or the flashing beeps or whatever it does will indicate, right? You got to keep that in mind. On the back side, you have two big exhaust vents on either side. Of course, the charger port, HDMI, USB 3.2 Type A gen, just like before. And of course, Thunderbolt 4 charging and Type C, connectivity. Amazing. You can do a dongle, whatever you like. This is plastic. Everything is plastic, but it's that very durable plastic. The hinge design is solid. You can see that's one piece, very solid, minimal screen flex. Let's see if you can see it. It's very minimal screen flex, like pretty much better than HP for sure. We'll kind of use that as a comparison because it is around the same price tag. Well, when they were new, they're around the price tag. The HP went down in price first because it was an older generation. This one's coming down in price, but this one isn't quite as low as the other one was. So you have to keep that in mind as well, which we'll talk about that later. Solid design. You can see ventilation all the way through there. Ventilation here. The mesh is supposed to be not as dense, so more heat should escape through there. That's a nice feature. This is just normal use, like little spots, fingerprints, whatever, from normal use. So that'll wipe right off, no big deal. Actually, it takes a little bit of use. This is like probably haven't wiped it in over a week, so about a week's worth of use, depending. It's easy, just wipes right off. I use a microfiber cloth. The pre-screen ones are the screen cleaner, lightly mist it. You don't want to use water or anything on it, obviously. So this has, we'll start from the top actually. Pretty thin bezels, 9x6. This is a 720p camera, basic like the HPs and the Alienwares. It does not have facial recognition unlock, which I wish it did. That'd be amazing. Does not have that. The screen is a QHD 1440p. It's a 2K screen, 240 hertz, G-Sync, either 1 or 3 millisecond. I can't remember which one it was, or maybe 2. So insanely fast response time. It is not an IPS. I don't think it's not IPS, and maybe mini LED or I don't know. I can't remember, but it's an amazing screen, really very color accurate, good performance, crazy hertz, 400 nits brightness, which is good, anti-glare. Really nice screen. It blew me away. I don't know if, I think it's I want to say it has HDR 400 or 1000. I can't remember exactly. I'm not sure if it has that, but being 240 hertz is insane. That's like the main selling point. Amazing for gaming and still good for productivity as well. The keyboard is nice. Really, I would say medium travel. Medium travel, feels good. Good build quality on the keyboard. You have a number pad as well. You have the G button, the game button. Let me find it. Where the heck is the game button at? Oh, right there, that G, that's the game button. That's gonna turn up everything. Like the fans, it's gonna turn up the fans. It's gonna turn up the power limits max, fans max, everything. That is the game mode, so it's gonna be the loudest and the hottest in that. Well, not the hottest, but that's gonna be the loudest in that mode. I just leave it on the default performance, and it's incredible, which we'll talk about that more. What else? I'm trying to think. What else? The trackpad is a precision driver trackpad. It is a 2-piece trackpad, so I don't know about longevity, but it feels good. It doesn't feel like it's moving when I'm pushing on it. It feels solid. It is very, very accurate. On a pinch, could I game with it? Yeah. Wouldn't recommend it, but I could in a pinch. In a pinch, I definitely could. What else? Logo there. Couple stickers giving you a little sneak peek. So as far as hardware goes, it is insane. This has the i9 12900H, which is 14 core, 20 thread, 6 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores. So it is insane. That's insane. You can technically disable the efficiency cores if you only game. In some cases, it could get you better performance. I'm gonna do more research on that, but it's insane. I was watching videos on it. I would leave it be, because if you do any multitasking or rendering or whatever, that's gonna suffer, obviously. But it's close enough that I don't think it's gonna be that drastic. In some games it can. It's kind of weird, but I don't think it's enough to want to go in there and disable it and always use it that way, unless you absolutely game certain titles. I can't remember the exact caveats, but I'm gonna look into it more. But for now, I'm leaving it be. It's a monster, efficient and a monster. It can produce quite a bit of heat, so it does have some decent cooling. Speaking of which, really quickly, because it's on that topic, 45, the base clock and the base wattage is 45, base clock is 2.3. It will boost to 5. It has 24 megabytes of cache. It has a bunch of like enterprise and commercial things that the 12700 doesn't, which is security and stuff like that. It also boosts higher than the 12700H, so they're basically similar, but same cores, same threads, but one boosts higher, one has more features and better built-in graphics as well in the chip. So this does have the Iris Xe graphics, 42 compute units, uses obviously the RAM, so you have some crazy fast DDR5 RAM in it. You can actually game on the Iris chip, which I will try to do one day, depending on the games and setup. It does have Optimus Advanced, so you can select, and you can automatic mode does it perfectly, and it's amazing, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. So that's the processor, really nice processor. I've seen it consume 80-90 watts. It just depends what it can cool. It will spike. I've seen it hit the thermal limit to like 100 something, like right off the bat, like especially when you're doing a big test. If it had the thermal cooling, this chip can do 5 gigahertz all day long, but obviously it just depends on the thermal limits and the setup, the thickness, the cooling capability. It's going to vary from machine to machine, power profile, so forth and so on. So, but it is a beast. I've seen it 4.7. I've seen 4.8. I've seen, 4.9. I don't know if I've ever seen 5 gigahertz. I wasn't also watching it. I also was like, it was like an, I forget what it was for, but yeah, there's software I'm installing that I'm going to monitor that stuff closely, thermals and everything, because I want to do my testing. So we'll get into that in a separate video. It has a 32 gigabytes of DDR5, 4800 megahertz, CL40, 2 sticks and dual channel. So that's amazing. It has a 3070 Ti, the 140 watt variant. So it is technically 115 plus 25 watts of dynamic boost. So it has the boost 2.0 in it. 8 gigabytes of GDDR6. It is a Ti, so it's a really nice model. It has more cores than the other one, and it also has more RT cores. So it has 5,888 cores, and I forget how many RT cores it has, but it does have an increase. It's a powerful chip. I think it's the best chip in my opinion. I think the 3080, unless you have a machine that has the high, watt thermal capability and capability of delivering that much power, it's pointless. You might as well just get this at that point. They're the same wattage. You're better off getting this and saving the money and spending it elsewhere. So there is that. That will be in another review as well. It has 1 terabyte that came with a mini one, about this small of a Gen, I think it's a Gen 4. Everyone says Gen 4. It might be Gen 3 because it feels like Gen 3 speeds. It gets around 3,000 reads and like 2,800 writes. So that's very slow. That's more like Gen 3 speeds, but I think it is technically a Gen 4 because it's a shorty. It does have a heatsink cooler on it, just to let you know. 2 screws hold it, and you do need to move the bracket from the shorty to the full length position if you're going to upgrade the NVMe, and you're gonna need to buy a copper plate, a thermal pad, and that's it. But you're gonna need those because drives don't have minimal air where they're located, and they get hot, and it'll it will throttle, believe it or not. So please get a cooler on it, and I highly recommend doing it. I did it to this. I'm running a inland performance. It is a 7,000 read and 5800 right. It is insane. It gave me gaming performance. That's how fast it is. Not only did it make it snappy, but I gained FPS. I know it's insane, but I did. I changed nothing else on it besides that. I cloned the drive, so it can't be a fresh install. I cloned the drive, and I still have that drive with all the information, all the updates, everything done, all my games installed. So if this ever craps out, I do have a backup. So there's that drive. The second slot, it doesn't have the connection soldered on there, so you cannot add a second drive. That is insane to me. I cannot believe they did that. That is the biggest downfall of this entire machine. The specs are fully maxed out besides the 2 terabyte. It has a 1 terabyte. But everything else is fully maxed out in the G15 5520. This is the 5521 special edition. This is fully maxed out. So it has the best processor you can get in this machine and the best graphics card in this 15-inch. The Alienware version has the overclockable stuff and all the other crazy stuff. Of course, Alienware. And it has 2 slots. Oh, they couldn't give it to you on the G15 though. That's the biggest pet peeves I've ever had when it came to a laptop. It's there. It has a spot for it. It has the bracket thing. It just needs the connector soldered on there. I'm tempted. If I knew someone electronic engineer that knew how to solder, you could solder that connector on there and it will work. I can tell you that right now. It just, Dell did it to save a few pennies and keep it 1 notch below the Alienware. Good job. By the way, this is an Alienware chassis. I don't know if I mentioned that. This is like a 2021 or 2020 Alienware chassis. So it has good cooling, solid connection to the motherboard. It has a bunch of little metal things that kind of reinforce, and has a magnesium reinforcement through it and magnesium hinge reinforcements. So believe it or not, this is very stiff. Like, it has a little bit, but like, it's a stiff, solid laptop. Weighs 5.8 pounds. So yeah, went over the storage, went over the RAM, the graphics card, the processor, went over the ports, the screen, the touchpad, the keyboard. I mean, that's pretty much covered everything. That's a 240 watt brick, by the way, powering this monster. The hinge is incredible. It blew me away. There's 240 hertz. The performance is insane. This outperforms my desktop, I feel like. The processor outperforms it. The screen's better. I mean, the other one's bigger, but this is a 240. The keyboard's amazing. Yeah, the mechanical keyboard might be a little better. The mouse is obviously a mouse. It just has DDR5 being faster than the DDR 3600 CL18 I used to run. So it just, and I have a 3070, a 3070 Ti. Yes, I know the desktop variant has more wattage, but that's incredible for being mobile and as thin and light as it is, being only, what, 5.8 pounds. So, that being 140, this being so-called 45, it will draw a lot more than that. I can tell you that. It will draw a lot more than 45 for the processor. It does have, what's that? That smart shift, I think it has that. But it, like I said, it can do the 140. It can do, smart shift. It can do a lot more on the CPU. There's technically, I think the thermal limit for this one, or not the thermal, but the wattage limit is really high. It's like, some of the overclock machines can pull almost like 150, 160, maybe even 170. Can't remember, 155, something like that. So it's insane. So the chip can handle it. It's just, it doesn't have the power delivery or the thermal head capability. It'll literally boost, smash into the thermal limit, and then adjust according to the cooling it has. That is it. That's their formula. It works, but that is it. You don't need G mode unless you want to go ballistic and you want that extra few FPS and you're doing low latency, like max, low settings, low latency, max everything, fans everything. Hit the G mode. It'll boost everything up. Put it in, latency, set it up for low latency or whatever, and be competitive. 240, right? You'll definitely hit that 240. AAA titles, it'll play them all. And I've played AAA titles in Ultra, but I want more frames to get closer to that 240. That's the thing. So instead of running Ultra, run high with, obviously, DLSS. You're crazy not to do it because it's such high pixel density, and it looks so amazing that you'll never notice the difference. So I'd run DLSS, I'd run ray tracing on high, AAA titles, 120 to 140, some higher, some a little lower, just depending on the game, obviously, and how you have it set up and how you have it all tuned. It's incredible. This machine is beastly. Like I say, I pay Call of Duty on mostly, it's balanced, but it's mostly high presettings, some medium, but mostly high presettings, 130 to 150 frames. If I turn some of that stuff down a little bit to like a medium high or medium, I can get close to that 200. Not 240, but 200. And then obviously, what's it called? Competitive modes on the Call of Duty, it'll hit 240, I bet. I never tried it, but I'm sure it'll get close to that number. What else? That's really it. Oh, the light bar is fully controllable from the Alienware Command Center. That's why I have the Dell and Alienware logo on her, because it's basically Dell and Alienware is owned by the same company. It's basically most of the components would go in Alienware and an older Alienware chassis. So yeah, there you have it. You can see the RTS sticker and i9 sticker. What else? That's really it. Just a solid performing platform. I have to do data on the cooling pad, see if it helps or hurts it. A stand, even if you just a metal frame stand, it will help it no matter what. So even if it just elevates this, it'll help it. Some cooling pads, I wouldn't say hurt it, but they just don't make a difference, period. The elevation helps no matter what, but it's better than being on a tabletop. I could say that no matter what. So at least elevate it at the very minimum, and then I'll go over my data and performance and everything later on. I added MSI and Rivio tuner so I could see the temperature, usages, everything. I could get all the information together for you guys. I may do another video, I may not. Technically, I did a upgrading the drive video and it messed up, of course. I did a video, it's like 6 or 8 screws. I think 2 of them are captive, and it kind of pops it up, and it has little tongues in the upper part when it's facing the other way. It's on the upper part tongues. When you pop it, it kind of, when you're captive, screws will kind of pop it off enough to get your putty tool in there, work the little plastic things, and then pop up and lift out because there's tabs up top. Not bad at all. Like I said, have the thermal pad, have the heat sink, the copper little plate, have 4 little rubber bands to hold it on, or depending which one you get. Move the bracket back, remove 2 screws, remove the old one, keep the old one, don't get rid of it, clone it, reinstall Windows, however you want to do it. I cloned it because I like my information, and I'll have a backup. So yeah, that just worked out perfect for me. This thing was a monster, $13.99. It went up to $15.99 that Monday, still worth it. If you go to Dell and build this machine, it's $2,099. It's the same exact spec, nothing different, same exact spec, with no shipping, no warranty, and no taxes. It was $2,099. There's always some kind of sale, so you'll save something no matter what. I'm hoping a lot. I'm hoping you'll get it for at least $15.99. If not, I'll try to find a Micro Center. They may go back on sale for $13.99, especially if a new generation comes out. Be on the lookout for that. Micro Center is just incredible. Yeah, my power bank is charging my phone. So yeah, that's my mobile gaming setup. A lot of this I might not take out, depending where I set up at. Set up at a table or whatever, I'll take out the mouse pad and stuff. But it just has everything I need in there. That's what I love about it. And mobile gaming has come a long way, and it's insane what you can game on, especially if you go to a buddy's house, has a nice TV or another monitor or whatever. It could just get even better, right? But I like smaller screen, high density pixel when I'm up on it. I just love that. That's how I like to game. I'm the same way with the monitors. I like to be up on them. TVs, you know, they're all right, especially if you get a nice 120 hertz TV, right, for your Xbox. So yeah, Xbox is still impressive, but love the Xbox controller. Love everything else. I wonder if I can plug up the mic into the Xbox controller. I never even tried that. But it does have a jack on the side, combo jack. So yeah, I have a memory card reader. Pretty much everything I wanted for creative and rendering. Incredible rendering speeds, incredible gaming performance. Just a beast. So this video is long enough. There you have it, guys. The Dell G15 5521 Special Edition. It is a beast. Man, I love it. I don't regret switching. I like the HP. Like I said, if that connector wouldn't have stopped charging or static, whatever happened to it, I don't know. I'll probably still have that HP because it was good. The 3070 was good. The 11700H or 11800H was good in it. It wasn't bad, but this is better. You know, the performance-wise, better. Hardware, better, you know. Screen's a little smaller, 15.6 to compare to 16-inch. But like I said, they had a 17-inch of the Omen HP. Same specs, just a 2 terabyte drive was the only difference. Not a 240 hertz, but a 165. Same GPU, but they did have the 12700H instead of 12900H like this one. So there was a little bit of variance, but that one was $18.99. So that just tells you this is a steal, hands down. It's a beast. Just a little bit of a wipe. This thing still looks brand new. It basically is brand new. I forget how long I've had it now. Maybe a couple weeks or so. Maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks. So it's just 3 weeks, I think, now. It's just a monster. I think I took it back right before Christmas and everything. So it's just a monster. I think a week or so before Christmas. Yeah, it's a beast. I literally just grabbed this, the cooling pad and the controller, set on a little TV dinner table over there, and be by her and game and just have a ball, and it's just a monster. And when it games, it doesn't get much louder because this one is quieter than the HP. The HP would run in a high mode, which was like comparable to the game mode. When you put in game mode, it's as loud as the HP, but when you run it in regular performance thermal default mode, it still gets great, amazing performance, better than the HP because it's better specs, obviously, but it's quieter, and it's just amazing. And then if I want to go bonkers, I want a little more FPS or whatever, I can hit the game button right there. I can also go in a command center. Oh, there was weird like blue screens and different software issues. They're all resolved. They got new firmware on it in BIOS. Well, new firmware on it. New drivers for everything. Make sure you go to Windows immediately. Download, restart, download several times where it doesn't show up anything anymore. Make sure you go to Dell Updater. That's very important. It'll have all the drivers, like Command Center, everything you need, all the other drivers you need. Make sure that's fully up to date. And then that literally fixed all the blue screens, all the bugs. They had weird bugs like the Alienware Command Center or whatever wouldn't work right, Dell Command Center, whatever you want to call it. Stuff like that. Or when it go from sleep to wake up, it would like blue screen, just weird. It was all driver. I think one of them was like integrated graphics driver was bad or something. I don't know. It was something stupid, but it's all resolved. I've never once got a blue screen, black screen, weird shutdown, booting me out of a game, anything, nothing. It has Windows Home, Windows Home 11. I like to have Windows Pro, but no, I don't really do too much commercial work or anything like that, or anything that would need the creative, more content side. So yeah, I do create content, but I don't really edit on this. I edit on my phone. I would love to learn to edit on a computer. That would make a huge difference for my videos. So there you have it, guys. The good old black and orange G15. Yes, I'm a Bengals fan. That was a no-brainer. Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, when it closes all the way, just listen. Hold on. It like pulls itself at the end. Watch this. See how it pulls itself. Nice finish. It does have a little caboose on her, but that's a lot of it is cooling. I think 4 or 5 heat pipes. Yeah, to get to the heat pipes and the coolers, you do have to take the motherboard out. I get it. It does have a downsides and not the slot. I would say that would be the main thing. Besides that, it's a beast. Blue light. Obviously, a charging indicator on the side. When it's charging, it's not because it's 100%. Disconnect that. Decent weight. That's the cooling pad. You can't even hear it. It only kicks on when it needs to. 5.8 pounds. I wouldn't say it's light, but it's definitely something that you can pack up. Everything, this rolls up, that folds up. Everything fits in there nicely without scraping and bumping on everything. So it worked out perfect for me. Oh yeah, this pocket right here is perfect for the controller. It's not like the gimbals aren't getting smashed. Like it's kind of hanging from the top, so it doesn't really get smashed. See, it's supposed to be like a earbud or headphones. I don't know what headphones are that small. The headphones I have in this other pocket right here. But yeah, so there you have it. A mobile setup is insane now. Mobile gaming is just nuts. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, the giveaway ends today on 1/1/2023 at 5 p.m. Please read the rules. If you didn't subscribe to both channels and like a video on both channels and comment on the actual giveaway video, you're not going to enter. It doesn't matter if it's international. Remember, if you just created a channel the day after or during the video was launched, it has to be 1 day before. I could tell channels that are not used, that are just made to just enter. I figured stuff out. It's going to be a random generator. It's going to check to see if you're subscribed, all the good stuff. You follow the rules. If not, you're not eligible to win. It's very simple. I want to make it honest and fair for everyone, period. So that's a way of saying thank you to all your guys' loyalty, viewings, and everything. I know this is not RC, so that's fine if you watch this, but I thought it'd be something nice to add something different, right? So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.